Welcome to the channel Tech Base. You can get global latest technological news in daily video. Please subscribe this channel. After Huawei was suppressed, every step forward has attracted much attention. Whether it is Huawei's development direction or new products, it will cause short-term onlookers. I thought that Huawei would fall into a bottleneck after losing its high-end chips, but I didn't expect that the new products and functions that came out this time would directly hit a bomb, and no other country could do it. One of Huawei's mobile phones has developed a new function in conjunction with Beidou satellites, which can use Beidou satellites to send short messages. The key to this function lies in the Beidou satellite. If it is replaced by GPS, it cannot be realized. This technology has directly excited the industry. China's technology has been constantly improving. Huawei launched the short message function. Huawei CEO Yu Chengdong said before, Huawei Mate 50 series will bring a new technology that can pierce the sky upward. This technology has brought new breakthroughs in communication functions. Although this short message technology looks very simple on the surface, but now the US Apple mobile phone has not yet been applied, but Huawei is leading. The functional form of short messages is to send short messages, but this short message is transmitted through satellites, and can be used even if the mobile phone has no signal. The most important function of this function is that in case of emergency danger, such as earthquakes, mudslides, etc., you can use this function to send out your location and simple information. And it can also generate information based on dynamic movement and send it out, so that people outside can better rescue the victim. To put it simply, this function of Huawei is a low-profile version of the satellite phone. We all know that wanting to make a satellite phone is not only costly, but can only be used in extremely urgent situations, and there are also restrictions on authority. It is generally used by military regions, and it is the same in all countries. However, this function of Huawei has broken this limitation. Although the function is not as good as it already has the characteristics of satellite phone. What is the function of short message? The function of Huawei's fusion of Beidou satellites is far more powerful than people imagined. Just like when an earthquake occurred in Sichuan, hundreds of people in Ganmaju, Huaiyan, etc. were killed and lost in an instant. The best way to quickly launch rescue operations in the future is to be able to immediately obtain the actual topographic map of the entire disaster area, and this map was synthesized by the National Space Administration in less than 10 minutes after urgently calling 10 satellites to the key role. After all, this kind of call cannot be used by the people at will, because it is expensive to call it at all. However, the short message function realizes this function. It is connected to the Beidou satellite, and individuals can use the satellite to send out the victim situation urgently. If the mobile phone of the victim had this function in the previous earthquake disaster, the rescuers could directly and accurately rescue the victim, greatly improving the survival rate. This function can be used in any disaster except earthquakes, not only in China, in deserts, in Africa, in Antarctica, etc. A rescue message that can send hundreds or even thousands of words at a time is enough for the rescue team to find you quickly. How powerful are short messages and Beidou satellites? In fact, many countries are trying to popularize the short message function, but it is difficult to realize it. Just like Apple has always wanted to try to carry this function on Apple mobile phones, but because of the failure to negotiate cooperation with the US satellite communication company, it has only won the right to use some low-orbit satellites until this year, and GPS is even hopeless. So even if Apple's mobile phone is equipped with this function, it is far less powerful than Huawei. In addition, Beidou short messages may be popularized in domestic public smartphones. In July, Beidou released some information. China has completed the integrated chip of Beidou short message communication radio frequency baseband. It means that all domestic mobile phones may be equipped with this function in the future, and Huawei Mate 50 is the first batch of mobile phones to be used. From a long-term point of view, ground communication has more and more requirements for base stations, and the power consumption of 5G base stations is 3 or 4 times that of 4G, and the coverage area is even smaller. Then when 6G is realized in the future, only the operating cost of the base station will be an astronomical figure. And if information dissemination can be achieved through satellite means, and the problems of network speed and stability can be overcome, satellites may replace some base stations. Beidou Satellite's technological advance this time fully reflects its strength. China has also released a white paper on 6G overall vision and potential key technologies before. One of the key services proposed in the book is that 6G may realize the integration of space and ground, so that satellites and ground can be fully integrated. So at this time, let's look at how important and powerful China's Huawei is in the lead in 5G and the breakthrough in satellite technology. But China can't relax. There are still many areas that can be optimized in these technologies, such as whether the scope of use can be wider, whether the configuration of the mobile phone can be reduced again, and if it is possible to chat and video at any time without a signal, it will be even better. Convenient. What do you think about the short message function? We will always pay attention to Huawei's future, and its progress will be our proud capital. Looking back at the development of the entire communication technology, the speed is very fast, but there is no way to imagine the hardships experienced. Nowadays, the intelligent world with everything connected is accelerating. Digital technology will reshape the whole scene mode, and the requirements for the network will become more and more serious. The burden on Huawei will only become heavier and heavier.